Much like passing gas deserves special mention, so too does poop, your stools themselves. Now, most people erroneously presume that the stool in the morning came from the dinner that you ate last night. Um, your intestines don't move that quickly. Now, you can't be blamed for this inaccuracy because poop looks like poop. You have no place mark to accurately figure out which poop came from which meal. However, it's there's exceptions. Certain high fiber foods like corn are the basis of people having this presumption of timing because now you do have a place mark and you have some evidence that, like, well, look, there's the corn, I see some residual, I had corn last night for dinner, and therefore that's how long it takes for the food to move along. The problem is this, that fiber makes the intestines move a lot faster than they normally would. The average transit time in the United States for food to make it from one end to the other is actually closer to 3 days. In third world countries, it's twice as fast, and the reason is that they eat a lot more fiber. Another misconception is that the bowel movement that you had today constitutes all the food that you had yesterday. Actually, Wednesday's poop is Monday's food, and Tuesday is still in there. With this talk of bowel movements brings up the subject of wiping. In the United States, half of Americans fold their toilet paper and the other half bunch it up. Now, another mystery about poop is its color. It's always brown. Why should it always be brown if the different foods you eat are different colors? And the basis most people have for this comes from kindergarten, when you first learned that if you were to mix all the colors together, it would become a dark color. Also, why should urine always be yellow? Well, the answer for the color of stool and urine is the same. The color comes from blood. Now, the way that works is your blood only lives a few months. When it gets old, it gets sent to the liver to be broken down, and those byproducts go to the intestines, where the bacteria there break down those byproducts into a yellow pigment. This yellow pigment gets absorbed back into your bloodstream, goes to your kidneys, and makes the urine yellow. The yellow pigment that stays behind gets further metabolized by the bacteria to a different pigment, which is brown, which makes the stools brown. There are times when feces does come in unusual colors. I have a list here. Black would be blueberries, licorice, Pepto-Bismol, Oreos, iron, and blood itself. If the intestines start bleeding internally, that blood becomes black. Orange comes from carrots. We've got red, which is Jello, Kool-Aid, beets, and again blood, if it doesn't have time to get broken down into black and change color. Finally, bringing us to green. Green stools come from lots of green leafy vegetables because of the chlorophyll in the vegetable. Now, we've said that the intestines are more than 20 feet long and talked about how bowel movements work, but fish, if you ever noticed in an aquarium, since their intestines are really very short, as soon as they eat food, they then poop almost while they're eating because they don't have enough space in there for the food they just ate. Now, a final note on the intestinal system is a gland that the intestines need called the pancreas. The pancreas is where that alkaline fluid comes from that's present throughout the small and large intestines. And another job of the pancreas is to make insulin. Now, the way insulin works is try to imagine your circulatory system like the roadways outside. A person in a car who, say, is driving home drives into the driveway, takes a key out of his pocket, opens the door, goes in his house. And it's not until he has left the road that he's arrived at his destination. Well, your food in your body goes to the liver and gets converted to sugar, which goes to your bloodstream and gets distributed to the different parts of your body. But the sugar can't make it to its destination in the cells without a key, and that key is insulin. So a diabetic who simply is a person who doesn't make enough insulin, the sugar that they eat stays trapped in their blood. And it's a bit of a paradox because their body per se, the cells, is cheated of the nutrient, the carbohydrates, the sugar. Despite the fact their blood's loaded with it, with all these calories, they effectively starve and lose weight. So ends our talk on the gastrointestinal system. Join me next episode when we move further down to your groin.